Good morning and welcome to the Red Mic. Happy Tuesday. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. I did not want to get up this morning. Travel days always take it out of me. Got back from Flagstaff and Phoenix and Sedona last night about 6:40 or so, 6:30. And, didn't do anything yesterday really. Got up early, all of that. But man, traveling just takes it out of me. So today, going to my office, I've got a few projects that I'm going to be working on, and it'd be real easy to go in, shut the door, and just, do the Jim Carrey from Bruce Almighty or uh, Kermit from that animated GIF that goes around. We're just sitting there like that all day long, right? But that goes contrary to the way I work in a leadership role. I always tell my people, uh, my door is open unless it isn't. You know, fairly straightforward idea, I think. What about those open door policies, though? Yeah, I mean, they sound great on paper. Hey, I'm an approachable leader. I'm available for open communication, but how many leaders actually uphold this policy and welcome honest feedback, even if it's challenging? Too often, an open door is almost like a revolving door. Employees walk in, they get their dismissive responses, and they leave, and they don't really feel like they've been heard, right? Too often, leaders are busy or they're in a meeting or on a call, and those opportunities to interact with their staff, they're they're going unanswered. If you're gonna claim to have an open door policy, you've got to make that office a safe place where they can feel your team members feel like they can speak up without fear of retribution. Um, Very early in my career, I was in a workplace where we had an HR director who said that she would act as almost as an ombudsman of sorts, where we could come in and we could share our issues with her. And she was just so two faced. I never did it, but I had colleagues who, frankly, made the mistake of taking her at face value. And next thing you know, they're getting little snide comments from different people in leadership, or they would get snide comments not directed at them but clearly to them, in the room with other people around, where they just knew, oh, she told you everything that I was thinking, right? So you're going to have to walk that line. Your people have got to know that you're going to have their backs, right? Um, Unless it's something that is just an egregious breach of policy or something along those lines, treat that open door, that interactive communication back and forth, treat it, don't just make it a face value kind of thing. It's got to be real. If your people don't trust you, or if your people learn that they can't trust you, they never will. And I had a colleague, a direct report to me at a prior job, and she'd let me know that through a organization that she worked with as a volunteer, that upper level manager in that job had offered her a really significant role. I mean, it would have been tens of thousands of dollars a year more. And I said, why are you telling me this? Why aren't you just, jumping on that like a bird on a June bug? I mean, I love you guys and I love this place, but you offer me 40,000 a year more than I'm making now. You're going to see a Patrick shaped hole in the wall. And she just explained that she loved her job. She loved working with the population that we worked with, and she liked working with me. Um, I suspect that I was just a teeny tiny part of that, but that should be the kind of relationship that you try to foster, that you try to grow. Now, don't be naive in thinking that everybody's going to turn down money for you, but strive for that type of interactive relationship with the people on your staff. So, actively listen, genuinely consider your team's feedback. Don't just wait for them. Don't make them just wait for their turn to talk, right? Make it a real conversation. It takes courage for employees to share their concerns, especially if they risk being dismissed or shut down. I had a boss, and I've done this once in my career, and I felt awful about it and didn't even mean to. Um, I attributed it, at least internally, to my ADHD brain. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get to the next point. But I had a boss that would immediately shut you down. He'd put his hand up to get you to stop talking. And I was in a director level role with him, and we had a call from uh, a reporter at a fairly well known publication, and they wanted to talk to a couple of our board members. And I was like, yeah, this is a really bad idea. Board members are policy, we are operations. We need to handle this call and tell them that, the board has no comment, right? He did that. And he said, call so and so, call so and so, give them the reporter's information, and tell them, call them, don't call them, talk, don't talk, it's up to them. I said, okay. I said, for the record, I think this is a horrifically bad idea, right? And sure enough, fast forward a couple of weeks and the article came out and it was just a hatchet job. And that guy had the nerve to blame me for it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Well, I immediately started looking for another job because like, I'm not going to work here with this guy. Well, karma. A few weeks after that, he was invited to no longer work there. Frankly, I was worried that I was going to be invited to no longer work there too. But when I called both of those board members, I told them exactly what he had said. And I said, now, my advice would be to tell them that you don't really have any comment. Neither one of them took my advice. But when it was time to fish or cut bait with with my boss, they remembered that, hey, Patrick gave us the right advice. We just didn't listen. So, anyway, that was an example of, frankly, a closed door. And it wasn't just even though his door was open, his mind was closed. Um, he had a sign. He had a framed picture on his wall that he was a member of Mensa. um, all of his pictures on his desk were turned outward so you could see the pictures. I have pictures on my desk because I want to see them. You know, um, just the ego on the guy. And he was everything in a leader that I didn't want to be. So I've tried to be the anti version of that guy. So anyway, remember, it takes courage for your employees to come talk to you about things that they're concerned about, that they're worried about. So make time for them. Hold one-on-ones with them. Create informal opportunities for open dialogue. Be present when they share their concerns. Actively listen and follow through on feedback. Ultimately, an open door that is consistently closed, either literally or figuratively, it's not an open door at all. That's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you find it helpful. I hope you will give me a like, a follow, and a share. The share is the most important part right now. Please let other folks know, hey, I'm listening to this guy. Yeah. I appreciate you being here. I'll be back again tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, right here from the Red Mike Cave. And yeah, I made a mistake yesterday. I don't know what I was thinking. I think it was probably tired. I was just tired, but I made reference to getting back home to the falls. I haven't lived in Wichita Falls in 24 years. So, well, 23 years, excuse me. Moved here in '01. Yeah, Austin is home and not going anywhere anytime soon. So I appreciate you being here. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow. And don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon.